Every person looks the way they do for a whole host of very complex and important reasons. But just because a person looks a certain way doesn't mean that they feel that the way they look is an accurate representation of who they actually are. For this reason, I have a very fun and enlightening exercise for you to try with your friends and your family. To do this exercise, I want you to imagine that you have never seen yourself before. What I mean by this is you've never seen your own reflection, and you can't just look down and ascertain what you look like with your own two eyes. Maybe pretend that you're blind. And then draw a self-portrait. You can choose to draw this self-portrait from a purely intuitive place, or you can involve more conscious intention into the task by considering things like, do I look human or do I look like something else? If I look human, what do I really look like? If I look like something other than a human, what do I look like? How am I shaped and formed? What features do I have? What color am I? What texture am I? How tall or short am I? Do I have any tattoos or scars or any other defining features? Do I wear clothes or jewelry? If so, what type of clothes or jewelry do I wear? And where and how do I wear them? And relative to each body part that a person possesses, ask yourself, if you have that body part, and if so, what does it look like? For example, do I have eyes? If so, what color are they? And what do they look like? And how big or small are they? And how are they shaped? Or for example, do I have hair? If so, what color is it? What texture is it? How long is it? And where is it? So that you can understand more of what this exercise entails, I am going to invite two of my team members forward to give you two examples.
So, this is the picture that I drew or painted. I drew this more from intuition rather than a conscious intention and going through the certain elements, so it just kind of came to me. From this drawing, the first thing that I notice is that it doesn't look very human, so which shows that I don't really feel belonging to the human race because of trauma, etc. Another thing that I notice is this shield that's surrounding me. It's almost, when I painted it, the image that came to my mind is that it's very glittery as well as translucent, and it's something that can retract. I noticed that it's like a very beautiful shield, yet it's still a shield, which means that I feel very guarded, is what I noticed, and it even shows in my lack of arms and legs. So I do have arms and legs in this photo, it's just that they're retracted, and they can come out at any time. What I've also read into this is that I keep my defenses hidden. So it's not that I don't have any tools of defense, it's that I like to appear more innocent than I may be. Another really interesting element to me is these leaves that I have on the top of my head and my ears. And when I was feeling into that, the leaf on my head kind of resembled this trying to stay in reality, because everything else about this feels very airy and not very up there. And so the leaves kind of ground me back into reality, and as well as even the leaves for ears is so that I can perceive reality more in, like, let's say the third dimension more easily. So as far as my hair goes, there's two gold coiled strands that run on both sides of my face. And to me, it represents my feeling into other people. It's almost like, with an octopus with its tentacles, it has that similar feeling. Where it can perceive how people feel and what they think, and things outside of, I guess, 3D reality. As far as my body type goes, I'm very small. So it's almost about this tall. And I actually, when I feel into this now, it's like I can actually grow bigger. It's just that there's like a very conscious choice to stay very, very small. Outwardly, this person that I drew seems very soft and light, I think because of the pastel light colors, where there's like this elegance, this beauty. But what I find interesting is this component of the black spirals that I've just felt like drawing, which I think represents this other side of me, which feels more dark and more, maybe contains more pain. But that's something that, instead of it being stagnant, it's actually very moving. The energy is moving, which to me resembles the fact that I actually pull upon this type of energy to create things, and such as creating that shield. In terms of the skirt, when I looked at it, I saw it as the part of me that is my emotional self. So it's like everything that this being is kind of founded on is this emotional component of it. And so that's why I think blue to me, because blue is very watery to me. I feel like this exercise was really interesting because I thought that I would have a harder time when I was kind of assigned this of what I would even draw, but it actually came to me very quickly. And I think it's telling me a lot about myself in terms of how I feel, how I perceive myself. And it even gives me a better idea of how I may even come off to other people based on what I'm drawing. Or it's showing me also the discrepancy between how I feel internally versus what I present externally.
Hi guys, so this is my character, I guess you could call it. I want to start off by saying that I felt like I was going to have no drawing skills whatsoever, so I don't want you to let that prevent you from doing this exercise because it's actually ended up being very fun. So this is what mine looks like. I'm going to describe to you what some of the elements mean to me and what they represent. So it kind of came out to me as this like anime character, but if I had to like give you what it feels very physical still. What this revealed to me is that I feel very elven in a way, and it's very strange because, you know, in this life I'm very identified with having blue eyes, but in this portrait it came out with these glowing green eyes, and I was really feeling into why that intuitively came to me. And what I got was that it keeps me very connected to the plant kingdom in a way, which I do resonate with quite a bit with knowing a lot about herbs and medicines and things like that, so I really feel like that kind of contains the essence of that, and it shows through my eyes. My hair in this character is a platinum white / silver color. The reason I feel like it showed up that way is because I perceive a lot of information through, I guess you could say the crown chakra, right? So it's almost like that hair represents a very clear connection to the non-physical and to the divine and receiving information that way. When it comes to how I look, I actually feel like my height would be very similar to what my actual height is now. So I'm about 6 foot, right? The build though is more muscular, so I feel like I have more strength, but what's really interesting is that the character, you know, is completely male, but as you saw, you know, there's going to be a lot of elements to this appearance that are a bit more like fluid in terms of, I guess, gender in a way, in the terms that it expresses itself. So while it's a male, it kind of feels like there can be different ways of expression that can also incorporate, I suppose, more feminine qualities in a way. So I also have a green circlet that goes over my forehead, and I really feel like that represents coming from some kind of royal lineage or being a part of a royal family where I feel like I have a really important role. And it feels like the armor that I'm wearing is a bit of a high-ranking armor, so it feels like people that wear that really have a high status in some way. You'll see that I had a blade, and what was really interesting about it is that, I'm not sure if you could see it from the photo, but it's got a glow to it. And the reason that it's like that, it's got this like purple red glow to it that has to do with me adding poison to it. So for me, being connected to the plant kingdom, I'm well aware of what kind of plants and herbs I can use to give myself an edge on my sword, so to speak. Also, you'll see that I have a shield. So this shield actually looks like it's going to be a weak shield that you can penetrate through, but it's actually an unbreakable wood that comes from the Elven Kingdom. And I believe that I represent a warrior in this life in some way. So I feel like I really have this sword and this shield because I need these tools in order to persevere with whatever odds I have thrown at me and whatever comes my way to be able to get through it no matter what. And you'll also see that there were no tattoos or no piercings or anything like that, which is interesting because I have piercings and I have tattoos. But it felt like when I was doing this intuitively that I didn't need anything additional on my body that way. It's almost like I came into this life with everything that I needed. And what I found to be super interesting doing this exercise was that if you were to have asked me to draw how I would have portrayed myself in terms of how I represent myself in terms of my actual appearance to other people, I feel like it would have been a completely different drawing. I feel like I would have had a lot more of a skewed idea of what I actually look like and how I actually appear to people maybe than I actually do. So I almost feel like by doing this exercise, it almost shows me a bit more of what my essence actually is and what it actually feels like when I'm more in alignment versus, looking at things through the lens of pain or the lens of trauma or, things just being morphed in such a way that I'm not seeing myself very clearly. So what was really cool about this is I actually feel like I'm tuning in and also tapping into my essence in a more clear and direct way than I normally would in my day-to-day life.
Remember that the sky is the limit as far as creativity goes. So once you have made this drawing, I want you to consider why you have drawn yourself in this way. I want you to consider what all of these different features that make up the way you think you really look mean to you. What does it mean about you and about your life? Have a good week. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and consider sharing this video with your friends. You can also click on the bell icon to be notified of the next time that I post a video. I want to thank you personally for the bravery that you have to step into awareness. I'll see you in the next video.